going to basically start over with lesson 1. Okay, we did the examples on Friday, but what we're going to do today is first we're going to watch a video about place value, which will hopefully jog your memories from the last few years. And then we're going to get into lesson 1 as if we had not, and then, well, I'm going to do some examples for you on the board, and then we're going to get into lesson 1. We're going to quickly go through the examples again, and then we're going to do the guided practice. We're probably going to add a couple of the problems from we're probably going to add a couple problems from the independent practice to our guided practice, and then you'll be on your own for the rest of the independent practice. Of course, if you have a question, you can come see me at my desk, and then girls on Zoom, I will take the computer. I have a new camera that should be better quality, but I'm still trying to figure it out, so hopefully I'll have it figured out by tomorrow. And then I'll bring you to my desk so that if you have a question, you'll be with me already. Okay, so right now, we're going to watch a video. So Zadie, since you're closest to the light, even if you're not helper number 1, you'll still be my light person during the day. So go ahead, use your elbow to turn the lights off. And can you see the screen somewhat at home? At least a little bit. It mostly is just, can you hear it? Okay, I'm going to go start it. Make sure that you are listening and paying attention.
Hello, 4th graders. Here's the number 1. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, it is the first number, so that has to count for something. The only thing is, it's kind of small. And today, we're going to go big, like really big. That's right. Hope you're ready for a long journey, because today we're going to count to 1 million. And we're starting all the way back here.
366, 367.
This is my friend Kevin, and he's already started counting. How long have you been counting so far?
About 360 seconds divided by 60, and no, I've lost count. 1.
Okay,
2,
well, Kevin's going to be counting for a long time. It would take 2 weeks to count to 1 million. That sounds pretty boring, and it would take way too long for this video. So I want to show you a cool trick about numbers that we can use to speed this up. Everyone likes a shortcut, right? First, we'll need a place value chart. So here we are with ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. We'll start by placing 1 in the ones column. Now let's begin counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, stop! Okay, here's 9 in place value chart. But what happens when we add 1 more disc? When we add another disc, we get 10. And when we have 10 discs, we can bundle and move them on. So now we have 1 disc in the tens place. But look at this. This 1 disc in the tens column really represents 10 ones.
So
So a disc in this column is worth 10 discs in this column. We can say that a disc in this column is 10 times as many as 1 in the column to the right. 10 times as many is a way of writing times 10. Now what if we count up 10 tens? We bundle. Now we have 1 disc in the hundreds. So when we multiply by 10, we're just shifting everything 1 column to the left. It's like we're taking this 0 and adding it to the end of the number. So what would 100 times 10 be? 100 times 10 is 1,000. We pop this zero in and move one column to the left. Now what if we had this place value chart, 964, and we multiplied it by 10? What is 964 times 10? When we multiply by 10, everything moves one column to the left. So these 900s move to 9,000s. The 6 10s move to 600s. And the 4 1s move to 4 10s. Then the 0 squeezes in at the end. 9,640. Awesome. We went from 964 to 9,640 in one step. We have got to show this.
Make sure you're watching the video.
98, 99, 100.
Whoa, Kev, take it easy. You just hit 100?
Yeah.
How can we quickly get Kevin from 100 to 1,000? Kevin, check this out. We're going to multiply by 10. That moves us to the thousands column.
Wow.
Well, hang on here. Here we go again. Let's multiply by 10.
Ooh.
Whoa, okay. Well, look at this. We made it to the next column, but we've never been here before. This one has no sign. So we've got good news and bad news. The good news, we get to name it. The bad news, we have to name it properly. What do you think this next column after thousands should be called?
Mount Kevin.
Nice try, Kevin. This next column after thousands, where we have 10,000s, is called the 10,000s column. Makes sense, right? To jump to the next column, let's multiply by 10. Hang on, Kevin. That moved us one column to the left and added a 0 at the end. But now where are we? This peak isn't labeled either. We've had ones, then tens, then hundreds, then thousands, and 10,000s. What do you think comes next? After 10,000s comes 100,000s. Right now we're at 100,000s, and we can see 1 million is one column away. Before we jump up there, can you choose the number sentence that represents the death-defying leap Kevin is about to make? Wow, we made it all the way from 1 to 1 million in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. But now we're stuck here. How are we going to get back?
999,999.
Whoa. Let's not just count our way down. We multiplied by 10 to move left in the place value chart. So what would the opposite be? How can we move right? The opposite of multiplication is division, and the opposite of left is right. So to go to the right, we divide by 10. So what is 1 million divided by 10? We know in multiplying, we moved one column and added a 0. So now we lose a 0 and move one column to the right. 1 million divided by 10 is 100,000. Keep going, Kevin. This works for all numbers when we divide by 10. What would 9,640 divided by 10 be? 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. That's it, all the way to 1 million and back. What do you think, Kevin?
Multiplying and dividing by 10 is a quick way to move up and down the place value chart.
That's right. Multiplying by 10 moves us to the left and adds a 0. Dividing by 10 moves us to the right and slices off a 0.
Now I go to 1 billion.
Well, I better go catch him. In the meantime, use what you know to solve these problems. I'll see you at the top. Great thinking.
Okay, so did that sound familiar based on what you've learned in the past and what we talked about on Friday? A lot of that should have sounded familiar. The moving to the left, each place is 10 times greater than the one before. So if we start at the ones and move to the tens, tens is 10 times greater. Now another thing that we're going to review is the actual value. So how much is a digit worth in each place? Well, if we have a 1 in the ones place, we know that this is worth 1 ones, which is equal to 1. If we have a 1 in the tens place, we know that this is worth 1 10, which is 10. If we have 1 in the hundreds, that means we have 100, which is equal to 100. If we have 1 in the thousands place, we know that that means we have 1,000, which is equal to 1,000. Make sure that you have your commas. When you are a grown-up, you don't have to use commas unless you want to, but as a kid who is learning, make sure you always have your commas. If we have 1 in the 10,000s place, well, we know that that is worth 1 10,000. Is there such a number as 1 10,000? Does that number exist? What is the number? Cullen?
1,000.
1,000 is 1,000. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. Is 1,000 equal to 1 10,000? No. So how can 1 10,000 be the same as 1,000? 1
10,000.
10,000. So remember, there is no such thing as a number called 1 10,000. Just like there is no such thing as a number called 2 10,000s. What is this number? If you have 2 10,000s, you don't have the number 2 10,000s because that number doesn't exist. What do you have, Victoria? 20,000. Very good. Let's erase that so it's not confusing. If I have 3 in the 10,000s place, is there such a number as 3 10,000? What is it, Zadie?
30,000.
30,000. Good. If I have a 4, there's no such thing as 4 10,000. What is it, Aaron? 40,000. If I have a 9, there's no such thing as 9 10,000. What is the number? Michaela? 90,000. Very, very good. So, remember that. So, if I have a 1, whatever number I have in the 10,000s place, that's how many 10,000s. If it's a 1, it means 10,000. Now, if I have a 1 in the 100,000s, that means I have 100,000, which is what number? Anybody? Victoria?
10,000.
Can it be the same as the place before? Because remember, one step to the left is worth 10 times more. So would 10,000 be 10 times more than 10,000? No, it would be exactly the same.
I was looking at the wrong one.
No. So a 1 in the 100,000s is equal to what number, Victoria?
100,000.
Good, 100,000. Now this, and this, and this, and this, and this are where it's easy. Well, not necessarily tens. Because there is such a number as 100,000, or 200,000, or 300,000, or so on. It's only all the tens that you have to worry about something other than 1, or 100, or 1,000. or 100,000? Because there's no such thing as 1 10,000. That's not a number. You have to remember, okay, 1 times 10 is what? Then add the number thousand, of the word thousand or million. Good. What about 1 in the 1 millions place? What is that equal to? How much is that worth? Kingston, how much is a 1 in the millions place worth? A little louder. But I know, but you know the answer. 1 in the 1 millions place is worth how much? 1 million. How many zeros does 1 million have? Let me give somebody else. How many zeros, Victoria?
6.
6, because how many places come before it? Victoria?
6.
So that means if we have 1 million, there's a 0 in the rest of the places. Okay, what about 1 in the 10 millions? Is there such thing as 1 10 million? Cullen?
No,
What is it?
it's 10 million.
10 million. Very good. And 1 in the 100 millions. Is there such a thing as 100 million, Michaela? There isn't?
Yes.
Yes. So 1 in the 100 millions place is worth how much? 100 million. Remember, and then we're not really going to be working with the billions, so we're just going to ignore that. But if you had a 1 in the 1 billions, how much would it be worth? Carla, don't forget to unmute yourself. How much would a 1 in the 1 billions place be worth? A little louder.
1 billion.
1 billion. Exactly. Very good. Okay, go ahead and mute yourself again. Very good. So now does everybody understand this a little better? Because I think this is where everybody was getting a little confused on Friday. The only time you have to worry about saying a number other than the digit and the name of the place is in any of the tens. Because you have to multiply it by 10 and then say the name of the period, whether it's thousands or millions. If we're in the ones period, do we say the name of that period ever? No, never. We would not say 111 ones. That's not a thing. We would just say 111. Just like we wouldn't say 100 ones. That doesn't make sense. 1 tens ones. Doesn't make sense. 1 ones ones. Doesn't make sense. So the only period we never say the name of is the ones. We do say the name of the thousands period. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. We do say the name of the millions period. 1 million, 10 million, and 100 million. Is everybody ready to move on to the book? Do you feel a little more comfortable today than you did on Friday? Thumbs up if yes. Hand raised if we might need to talk about it a little more later. Can you guys see the book well enough to follow along? Okay, so we're not actually going to do all of these same problems. We're just going to go through really quick. We're going to look at this place value chart, and we're going to say how much each digit is worth. Remember, a digit is just the symbol. A number is all of those symbols put together. Okay, I only see 4 people here who did what I said. If you have nothing on your desk, look at the rest of the class and see what's different. You have this. You have this. We are not on a new lesson. So what are you supposed to be getting out? I said, we're going to go over the same lesson and to turn to the first page of lesson 1. So you do have this. Kingston, why is your homework still in your folder? You don't have time right now, but it is officially late. Check your math folder. Thank you, girls at home. You guys were good, because I saw all your pages. Okay, so we're just going to go through this chart, and we're going to say how much each place is worth. So first, I'm going to ask you for the place. The place means where is it in the number. Then I'm going to ask you for the value. That means how much is it worth. So when you get to your homework or your test or anything else, if it asks you for the place, it's asking you for the word. Where is it in the number? If it's asking for the value, it is not asking you to say it's in the hundreds place. It's asking you how much is that worth. So remember, place is where it is. Value is how much it's worth. Remember, it's like that dollar. A dollar is worth 100 cents or something like that. So let's look. And remember, when we fill out a place value chart, what side do we start on? Do we start on the left like when we write words? Cullen?
No,
No, where do we start?
on the right.
On the right. We start with the ones place and then we fill it out going this direction. Otherwise, we may end up putting too many spaces. So, since we're doing that, let's start on the right. Ethan, what place is this digit 0 in? The ones place. Remember, place means location. Now, Ethan, how much is a 0 in the ones place worth? That means how much is it? How much does it cost? How much does it stand for? How much is 0 ones worth? If you have 0 ones, how much do you have? Can somebody help him out? Michaela? 0. It does not matter what place a 0 is in, it is always worth 0. Because if you have 0 hundredths, what do you have? If I gave you 0 hundred pennies, how much money do you have? Michaela? None. 0 in any place is always worth 0. Ethan, sit up and pay attention. Okay, now let's move to the next place. We have the digit 0. Carla, what place is this 0 in? Don't forget to unmute yourself, which you already are. Good. It's in the tens place. And how much is a 0 in the tens place worth, Carla? 0. Doesn't matter what place it's in, a 0 always equals 0. Because 0 times anything is what?
0.
You know this from last year. 0 times anything is what? Class, everybody tell me.
0.
0. Good. Now, let's move to the next place. We have the digit 8. Victoria, what place is this 8 in? Hundredths. How much is it worth? 800. Very good. An 8 in the hundredths place is worth 800. If we move one digit over, we have a 4. Or one place over, we have the digit 4. Kingston, what place is this 4 in? The 1,000s place, or the thousands place. 1,000s place and thousands place is the same, but we're going to try to get out of saying 1,000s. Otherwise, we may be saying 100,000. But if we're saying how much this is worth, we might say, we might be saying 1,000s, which would actually look like 101,000. So we're going to try to get out of saying 1 1,000s, 10 1,000s, 100 1,000s, and just say 100,000. Okay. So Kingston, we have this 4 in the thousands place. How much is a 4 in the thousands place worth? 4,000. Very good. Our next digit is 8. What place is this digit 8 in? Smith? Don't forget to unmute. Smith, you're still muted. We can't hear you. Oh. What place is
I
this?
can't see the board.
Do you have your math book?
That goes for me too.
Do you have your math book? It's on your math book. We're just looking, we're looking at the next 8.
10,000s.
The 10,000s. And an 8 in the 10,000s period, in the 10,000s place, is it worth 8 10,000s? Is that a thing that we can say? So what is an 8 in the 10,000s place worth? Remember, we say 8 times 10, and it's in the thousands period, so it's worth
8,000.
an 8 in the thousands place would be worth 8,000. If we move one place, that means it's 10 times greater. So can it be the same as that 8 in the thousands place? What's 8 times 10, Smith?
80.
80. But it's in the thousands period, so that means it's 80,000. So an 8 in the 10,000s place is worth 80,000. Now, if we move one digit to the left, or one place to the left, we have the digit 1. Aaron, what place is it in?
Hundreds.
Is it at the hundreds place?
Thousands.
So tell me the whole place.
100,000.
But remember, we're getting away from saying that 1. So it's in the 100,000s place. Remember, this book just has 1 10s, 100s, but you have to make sure to look at the period. Because this 100 is not the same as this 100. This is just worth 100. This is worth 100,000. So a 1 in the 100,000s place is worth how much, Aaron?
100,000.
100,000. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to example 2. So go ahead and turn the page, and example 2 is kind of like the video where that we watched, where we know as we move one place to the left, how many times greater is that digit worth as we move one place to the left? Michaela? 10. Very good. So each time we move, that place becomes 10 times greater. Okay? So if we had a 1 here and we moved it here, it'd be 10 times greater. 1 times 10 is 10. If we move 1 over, we multiply 100 times 10. We multiply 10 times 10, which is what? Class, what's 10 times 10?
100.
100. If we move this one place over, we have 100 times 10, which is 1,000, and so on. But what I want us to focus on right now is, you guys know, as you move one place to the left, it gets 10 times greater. But what we're going to focus on today is how much is each of these digits worth. So I'm going to pretend, instead of zeros here, we have an 8 and a 7. Can everybody see that I have the number 2,419,287? So now we're going to do the same thing we did in example 1, because we really need to get this, what place is it in, that means the location, and the value, which means how much is it worth. So, Zadie, this 7, what place is it in?
The ones place.
The ones place. How much is a 7 in the ones place worth?
7.
7. It's just worth 7. Very good. We move one place over. We have an 8. Cullen, what place is this 8 in?
Tens.
The tens place. How much is an 8 in the tens place worth? Remember, anytime you have a 10,
10.
whether it's tens, 10,000s, or 10 millions,
10.
you just multiply that digit by 10 and then add the name of the period. So what we have the digit 8, it's in the tens place, so we multiply 8 times what?
10.
Which is?
80.
So an 8 in the tens place, do we say the name of the ones period? So it's not 81s, it's just what?
80.
80. Good. We move one digit over, we have a 2. Zari, what place is this 2 in? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
It's in the hundreds place.
It's in the hundreds place. And a 2 in the hundreds place is worth how much?
200.
200. Very good. Okay, if we move one place over, we have a 9. Michaela, what place is this 9 is in? Try to get away from saying 1.
1.
It's in the
1,000.
thousands place. 1,000s means the same thing, but we're going to try to get away from saying that 1,000 and just say thousands. Or instead of saying 1 millions, we're going to say the millions place. If you say if you say it's in the 1,000s place or it's in the 1 millions, that's correct. But we're going to try to get away from saying that word 1. So we have a 9 in the thousands place. Michaela, how much is a 9 in the thousands place worth? 9,000. Very good. Okay, everybody's had a chance. Everybody's going back in the cup. And we're going to move one place to the left. We have the digit 1. What place is this digit in? Smith? Oh, you got the same place again.
10,000.
The 10,000s. And we know to say the value, is there such a thing as a number called 1 10,000s?
No.
No. So a 1 in the 10,000s place is worth what?
10,000.
10,000. Very good. Remember, if you have a digit in any of these tens place, no matter the period, multiply that digit by 10, and then you say the name of the period. So 1 10,000 is worth 1 times 10, which is 10. We're in the thousands period, so it's worth 10,000. Good. And then if we move one place over, we have a 4. Victoria, what place is this 4 in? The 100,000s. A 4 in the 100,000s place is worth how much? 400,000. Very good. Let's move to the last digit in this number, the greatest digit. And Zadie, we have this 2. What place is it in?
1 million.
Let's try to get away from saying the 1, so it's in the
Millions, please.
millions place. How much is a 2 in the millions place worth?
2 million.
2 million. Very good. So is everybody with us so far? Is this making more sense than it did on Friday? Because Friday I looked out and it was like I was speaking a foreign language. So I knew we just need another day. And that might have just been because that was the very first lesson you've done since May. And it was the very first in-person lesson you've done since like March. Yes, Carla, quickly. Do you have a question or you just don't forget to unmute yourself?
Did I just miss something?
What?
Did I just miss something?
No, I don't think so. I thought you were here the whole time.
No, I was trying to just miss that she was bringing up on my side.
Oh, that's okay.
So is she on my side?
Yeah, that's okay. She's good here, and because she's good here, so don't worry about it. Just make sure that I'm not breaking up. If I'm breaking up, let me know, or you may just need to log off and log back on. But remember, these lessons are all recorded, so if you miss something, you can go back and watch it on YouTube later tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. I think I'm breaking up because I just got connected to the internet.
That might be.
And I'm also in the middle.
Yeah. And your video is not breaking up. It's really just your sound, but I can still understand what you're saying. It just sounds like a robot voice a little bit.
Well, that's because my voice is also scratchy.
This one, it's definitely more the internet or computer related. But, okay, so let's go ahead. We don't have a whole lot of time, and I want you to have time to do the independent practice. So let's go ahead and move on to the guided practice at the bottom of this page. Okay, Zadie, can you... Okay. Is everybody ready to look at the guided practice? Thank you. Okay, so let's read the directions first. We always, always, always read the directions first. So read in your head while I read out loud. Circle the correct place of the highlighted digit and write its value. Remember, place and value are not the same thing. Place means location. Where is it in the number? Value means how much is it worth. If I gave you 4 tens, dollars, how much money did I just give you? If I gave you the same as 4 tens, how much money did I just give you? Aaron? $40. So would you rather say, oh, 4 tens, that's worth 4? And then you say, yeah, I'll take $4. What did you just miss out on? $40. Because you didn't understand the difference between place and value. So, number 1, we have 62,574, and that 4 is highlighted. Michaela, what place is that 4 in? Is it in the ones place or is it in the tens place? Ones. And how much is it worth? 4. Very good. So make sure that you are following along and writing the numbers with me. Anything I write on the board, you write on your paper. Does everybody understand? Everything I write on the board, you write on your paper. Girls at home, can you see well enough to just understand where we are? I'll say the number and just make sure that you're on that number. Okay, then we have number 2. We have 53,456. And we have that 5 to the left highlighted. Aaron, is this 5 in the 10,000s place or the thousands place?
Thousands.
Is that the thousands? Let's start on the right and we'll move to the left. We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. If you're not sure, you can always start on the right and name the places because the places never change. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and so on. So if you are not sure what place it is, start on the right and start naming places until you get to the digit you're looking at. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Okay, so Aaron, how much is a 5 in the 10,000s place worth? Is there such a thing as 5 10,000s? So what is it? 50,000. 50,000. So remember, we have to have the same number of digits in our place as we do in our new number as we do in that original number. So, remember, when you're trying to figure out how much a number is worth and it's in a tens place, whether it's the tens in the ones period, the tens in the thousands, or the tens in the millions, multiply that digit by 10, and then say the name of the period. Number 3, we have 59,833, and our 8 is highlighted. Zari, what place is that 8 in? Is it in the tens or the hundredths place?
Hundredth place.
The hundredths place. An 8 in the hundredths place is worth how much? Zari?
800.
800. Very good. Number 4, we have 174,305, and that 7 is highlighted. Kingston, what place is that 7 in?
10,000.
The 10,000s place. And how much is a 7 in the 10,000s place worth? 70,000. Good. Okay. So does everybody feel comfortable on place value? Place, where it is, and value, how much it's worth. Okay, let me look at something really quick. Numbers, so everybody listen. I'm going to let you do the independent practice on your own. Of course, if you have a question, you may ask me. Numbers 5 through 7, we're doing the same thing we did here on this guided practice. So everybody look at numbers 5 through 7. We're going to go through and I'm going to explain what you're going to do. Numbers 5 through 7, you're doing the same thing. Numbers 8 through 16, you are given a number in a place value chart. You're using that place value chart to answer the question. So for number 8, the 6 is in the blank place. We'll find that 6, figure out what places it is. Remember, place means location, value means how much it's worth. So if it's asking you, what place is this digit in? Are you going to say it's worth 60,000? No. You're going to say it's in the 10,000s place. Now that may or may not be the answer to number 8. If it's asking you for the value, are you going to say 10,000s? No, because that's the place. You're going to say 60,000. So yes, so for numbers 8 through 15, number 14 is based on that place value chart. 15 and 16 are kind of based on that place value chart and something that you read and underlined, and I made sure you read, and we even watched a whole video on it earlier today. Then look at the back, look at number 17. 17 is kind of like this, but less work. Anytime you have a number in a word problem, you need to use the unit. So this many, what? In this case, it would be, well, you don't have to. Never mind. We'll talk about that later when we do word problems together. Number 18 You're coming up with a number based on these clues. It's like a logic puzzle. So it's going to give you clues. You fill in the numbers as you go. Some of them, this is a thinking thing. That means it's not going to tell you, put an 8 in the 100,000th place. Some of them may, but some of them are going to say, this number is, you have to figure it out based on process of elimination, which means you filled all the other places and you know this number's left, so it must go in this one. That is logic. So it is not going to tell you, put an 8 in the 100,000th place. It's going to give you clues so that you can figure out where each number goes. Number 19 and 20 are critical thinking questions. That means they come from your brain. That means you need to read it again, and then read it a third time. Do not come to me and say, I can't figure out what the answer to number 20 is, because it's coming from your brain, not mine. Does everybody understand critical thinking? Critical thinking comes from your brain. I can maybe help you clarify the question. That means make it more clear what it's asking, but it's coming from your brain, not mine. Okay, go ahead. Make sure that you complete everything on pages 13 and 14. If you do not have time before the end of the lesson, right now we have about 15 minutes, but we'll probably have some time later to do more. So go ahead, get started, focus so that you can finish. Ethan, focus so that you can finish. And then if you do not finish today, we should have some time later, hopefully after Spanish. If you do not finish today, the rest will be tonight. Okay, go ahead and get started.